Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Off the Bench podcast with your host Kobe and Aiden. Today, going to be talking about the UFC.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm letting this late. All right. So we've got NBA Finals.
Yep.
Thunder went up 3-2 as of yesterday. Game 6.
Yes, they did.
Is Friday morning for us, 10:30, I think.
I think all the games maybe 10:30.
Yeah. We're going to be breaking down some of the trade rumors that are happening at the moment, talking the UFC fight night that just happened and the one coming up this week. And I believe you had some start bench cuts.
Damn right I did. 3 start bench cuts to start off the episode. So yeah, pretty good episode coming up. It's an awkward time for basketball because we're mid-series.
Yeah.
It's always hard to talk about NBA at times when that.
Yeah.
But let's start with some start bench cuts. I have 3 for you. One is in 3 players nowadays who are playing currently. The word I was looking for. I have one at perimeter defenders. Like all players. So it'll be like start bench cut Cancun. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And number 3 is all-time players.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with number 1.
Yep.
Start bench cut, I had Jamal Murray, and De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Murray, Ja.
Yeah. I think starts for you.
I'm going to start Ja.
Yeah.
Probably bench Fox.
Ooh.
Cut Murray.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, because we've seen both Ja and De'Aaron be the number 1 guy and be pretty good, Jamal has never been the number 1 guy. He's always been a 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he's a good 2. Don't get me wrong.
It's a championship too.
But De'Aaron, alongside Wemby, was also a really good 2.
Yeah.
And even in like seasons where Ja has been a bit up and down, and you could say he's been the second option to Jaren or to Bane, he's also still looked really good. So I think just because Ja and De'Aaron have been the guy and they've been really good,
You'll give them the nod.
I'll give them the nod. So I'm going to start Ja, bench De'Aaron, cut Jamal Murray.
Okay. I think I would have went the opposite with Jamal and De'Aaron.
Yeah. Why is that?
I think I value a guy who is proven in the playoffs a lot. He's being proven in the past. I value that a lot. I still have Ja over both of them.
Yep.
I think Ja is just a better player.
Yep.
I think De'Aaron a couple of years ago, yeah, but in the last year or so, he hasn't been as good. Whereas I would still give Jamal Murray the nod for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As I value his playoffs.
Well, that's a fair reason, though. I can't argue with it. I'm not saying it like it was a big gap, like it's close. But
yeah, I think for me it was just the playoffs.
Yeah.
Get them over the edge.
I'll go with the 2 All-Stars.
Okay, that's fair. Alright, start bench cut as perimeter defenders or defender. Gerald.
Alright, so I'm not taking offense into account.
No offense into account.
Straight clamps.
Straight clamps.
Okay.
Alright. Start bench cut Cancun. Lou Dort.
Yep.
Drew Holiday.
Yep. Are we talking current?
Yeah, 2025.
Yeah, okay.
Dyson Daniels, Alex Caruso.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dort, Caruso, Holiday, and Dyson.
Yeah. I think it's a tough one. I think there's a couple of ways you could go with this.
I'm going to start Caruso.
Okay.
I think he's the most versatile out of the 4. I'm going to bench. Oh, God. I'm going to bench Dyson.
Yeah.
Because I think he should have won DPOY this year.
Okay.
I'm going to cut Lou as much as it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send Drew to Cancun.
Okay. I'll agree with the Drew one. I would have Drew going to Cancun.
Yeah.
I'd have Dyson. That's my starter.
as your starter.
I think Dyson this year especially has come out kind of out of his box a bit, and he's stepped it up a lot. I would have Dyson as my starter, mainly because of his deep DPOY.
Yeah.
And I think he's, out of the four of them, he's the closest to ever get a deep DPOY. Not sure with Drew in the past, but
I think Drew's been up there.
he would have been up there. I don't know if he's been like, genuine, like, I think he should have it.
I'd have to double check.
I'd have to double check for that one. Because Drew, as a career, is the best defender
100%.
out of the four. But right now, he's in injury. We'll put him last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have Dyson starting, but I can't really argue with Caruso starting either.
I just think because
your point was very good.
He's the most versatile of the four.
Yeah. I like that point, especially when he guarded like Jokic and didn't get bodied.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Even in the Memphis series, he was guarding Jaren the whole series.
Yeah. Like
6 inches shorter.
Yeah, for him to be able to guard those guys, especially like a few times Jokic had him in the post and just he made it tough still. Whether Jokic made the shot or didn't, the fact that he was able to make it tough from his height and size disadvantages.
Yeah.
I can't really argue with Caruso. I would just personally have Dyson.
Yeah.
And I think I would agree I'd have Lou as my third. Lou's still a great defender.
As much as I love Lou.
He's a great defender. He's just not as proven as the other two.
I think just because, like,
Dyson's oozing has got him ahead.
Dyson was my DPOY, so for me to cut him, that's kind of, it's not a good. So I'm gonna bench Dyson, but I got to start Caruso.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go Caruso Dort. Can't lie. I was like, he's gonna pick both. He's okay, see boys.
No, I'll be fair.
I thought that was gonna happen.
I'll be fair.
Number 3. All time.
Okay.
We're gonna go career.
Yep.
But like obviously in that career, you get. I'll just name him, then I'll tell you what I'm doing. Okay. Because it'll make more sense.
Yep.
Timmy Duncan.
Yep.
Shaquille O'Neal. And Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
So also, like, we're going to take into account the prime and career type of vibe.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have type of thing for your franchise for a career? Let's say that we're your franchise for 15 years. Who would you rather have?
Out of Shaq, Duncan,
Olajuwon. Start bench cut.
Shaq 1.
Yeah.
Probably Hakeem 2, Duncan 3.
You're cutting Duncan.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful.
Well, I don't think
he's respectful.
I think it is if you cut any of them, right? Like, they're all so good.
They are all so good, but I can't believe it took Hakeem over Tim.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm doing that. Hakeem's great. Hakeem is one of the top 15 to 20 guys ever, right?
Yeah.
But Duncan is like easy top 10.
I also think Duncan always had the better team around him. Like, if we're just talking like one-on-one individuals.
Yeah. I mean, look, probably for the career, he's had a better team for his like length of the career.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I still don't discount how good he was.
I'm not saying he's bad.
Like, he was the leader of that team the whole time. Yeah, like that's like me saying, but Shaq had Kobe for 3 in his championships and he had D-Wade for the other one.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but Duncan had Manu. He had Tony Parker.
Were any of his teams better than those Laker teams?
Yeah.
None of those were better than the 3-peat Lakers.
Yeah. I'd have to bring up the whole roster unless I'm like forgetting something, but
oh, cheers. The 3-peat Lakers are one of the best teams ever.
The Tony Parker, Manu, Timmy D Spurs were probably better overall as a team.
But they wouldn't beat them in a 7-game series, I don't reckon.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. I'm saying
better team wins the 7-game series.
But they never versed, and they're like completely different, right? So I'm just saying, I think Timmy D had the best supporting cast around him.
I could agree that he had, for a career-wise, length of career.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it's third for me.
Okay. I'll hand you Timmy D 1.
Start out.
Okay. If I want him for a career, and the reason why it's not Shaq could be 2, is because I saw Shaq not take it seriously enough at points and not go for long enough. He was great and he was the most dominant ever his short period. But then after that, he was kind of just like, and if you tell me, all right, you got 15 years with this guy, if I want the best 15 years, I'd take Duncan.
I'd still go Shaq.
Really?
I'd still go Shaq.
If Shaq would give me a good 8 years, say 90. I don't know, how long was he in his prime is the question.
Well, let's have a look, right? Let me bring this up real quick.
Okay.
Because I think you're underestimating the how long he was good for.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm underestimating how long he was great for, but that's what I'm thinking of right now.
All right, so you had 4 years of Orlando.
Yep.
Where he was clearly good.
He was great all 4 years. Yes.
And then you had a bunch of Lakers years where he was there from 96 till 04.
Bad years.
And he wasn't bad in any of those years. His worst season was 21, 12,
what did that be?
And 3 with 2.5 blocks. That was 04. That was his last year there.
Yeah.
And then you had the Miami years, where his first 3 years in Miami, or even if you say first 2, he was still really good. And then he kind of went downhill. Because you're not counting the Phoenix years, you're not counting Cleveland, you're not counting Boston.
Yeah.
Right? Because that wasn't Shaq anymore at that point.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm remembering is okay, this isn't Shaq.
But
how long was he great for?
From 92 till 06, 07. So his second last year in Miami.
So 4-8 years. Okay. Yeah. That's nearly the 15 years that I said, to be fair. That's a little longer than I thought. I remember it.
That's what I mean. Shaq was really good for a long time, but I think just because he ended off kind of poorly.
Everyone always forgets about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm still taking Duncan over Shaq, but it's a lot closer than I thought it was.
Okay.
Because I was imagining 11 years of good Shaq.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God.
Well, that last year in Miami, he was still really good. I'm just not counting it because it wasn't as good compared to his other years.
Well, it was Shaq, yeah. It wasn't the Shaq that we all remember. Yeah. But I mean, the only one I do think I think Hakeem is definitely my cut. I was surprised you put Duncan below. That's what I was all shocked about.
I'll put Duncan below.
No, it just shocked me a little bit. Hey?
I'm going to stand on it.
Stand on business?
Stand on business.
All right, fair enough. All right, that is my start bench cuts.
All right, let's get into the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
Game 5, what are your thoughts? How do you feel?
Heart-wise, I did want Indy to win. I thought the story was cool. Just that comeback story. It would have been cool, watching them every series having a game winner from Tyrese. Indy never doing it, from Reggie doing it, type of thing. It would have just been cool to see them win. It would have been the biggest underdog story in nearly ever. Every series, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, it'd be up there, yeah.
They were pretty much the underdog since the Bucks series.
Yeah.
The overrated and stuff, I was all for it. But I do think my pick was correct. I think I hit the nail on the head before the finals. I did say Indiana would win one game they shouldn't, and then it would be 4-2 OKC.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to happen. I think OKC are going to beat him in Indy.
I think OKC in 6 as well. Obviously, I think that I never wanted Indy to win, but
you said OKC 5 at the start, so you were like, yeah, I did. It's so you were just very OKC doing. I can see why they're the better team. They are the better team.
Yeah, no, Indy's played a lot better than I thought they would. Especially in that first game. That first game was something.
It was a bit disheartening for Thunder, but I reckon almost it was kind of like, wow, I can't believe they did that to us almost.
Yeah, but since then it hasn't been all that bad. Indy clawed out another win at home, and they
should have won game 4, but you guys clawed it out, which is a good sign for you guys.
Exactly. And we had all momentum going into yesterday's game.
Mm-hmm.
Indy
still had that momentum.
Indy did get it back to 2 in the 4th, and then we blew it back out.
Yeah.
So,
no, I thought you guys were winning that series coming in. you deservedly will win the series. You have been the benchmark all year.
Yep.
As much as I would love to say my Celtics just got injured and we're out, I don't think we did. I think we were losing to the Knicks before that. By the time Kane got injured, we were still down, I think. 3-1? 2-1? 2-1.
I think you were down 2-1 when he got hurt, but you were losing that game.
Being 3-1, mate.
Yeah.
Even though it was a Tatum 40-odd point game, still.
You were still, I think you were down like 8 or 9 when he got hurt.
So, I mean, like, yeah, I can easily say, oh, we were still the benchmark, but I don't think we were.
Yeah.
I think we lost that to you guys. You guys have been good all year. So I think you deserve this championship. And it's like, it's good to see a young team who haven't had many lumps or many challenges before, playoff wise. Like usually you got to get beat, then they win. It's good to see like a team just go, no, we're the best. We've got confidence. We're going to do it defensively. We've got the MVP. We're just going to win it.
Well, I think the part that I like the most, or that I've enjoyed watching the most, because I've watched pretty much every game of this playoff run.
Yeah.
And not counting the Memphis series because that one was a sweep. So let's say from the start of the Denver series, pretty much every challenge that we had you've seen the growth and the adjustments game to game.
Yeah.
Even look at the finals, right? Game 1, Indiana went on a run. They ended up winning that game off the game winner. Yesterday, they went on a run, cut it back to 2. You could see the growth and they stopped the run, went on their own 10-0 run, and then, game's over, we win by 13 or whatever it was. Like, you can see the growth from game to game, and I think that's awesome, right? Like, the team is only going to get better. Like, they're not going to get any worse.
Yeah. I think, especially with next year, like, let's be honest, we're your main competitors right now. If you look at rosters and the Celtics, but having Tatum injured, you've got a real chance to go back-to-back here, considering a really tough West and what the trades look like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are building great for the future. But yeah, I just think it's great to see. I think they play a good brand of basketball. They're not just an offensive team. They're the best defensive team right now for the last few years that we've seen. Really good deep team. So little things I like watching. I do like the way the NBA is trending with teams. I love that the big three's kind of going away. The superstar-led teams are going away. I love that. I like that these teams that are winning, the Indies, even the Timberwolves, OKC, Celtics, they're all deep teams. They have the superstar, but it's not KD, Steph, Clay, whoever else almost. They're not these superstar-led teams, that deep teams who wins from defense and grinding out, which I'm loving to see.
It's a team sport. It's a team game.
Yeah, and for a period, it was almost like whoever had the best player in the court was winning.
Yeah, like the entire time it was Warriors-Cavs, it was like, they're here because Steph, Clay, KD, Bron, right?
And Kyrie.
Yeah,
so I'm loving that it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to see a bunch of different contributors. Yep. You're getting to see a bunch of different guys pop out. Even in this series, you've seen Obi Toppin has had some moments. Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Wiggins, Casey Wallace, like so many guys that aren't normally mentioned among, normally come finals time, you'll hear about Shea, you'll hear about Tyrese, but you don't really hear a lot about the other guys. But I feel like I've heard a lot about the other guys because they're stepping up and they're having these moments, they're having great games.
Well, what did Jalen Williams up? Yes, sir.
40.
Yeah, like he had a 40-point game. You have Caruso having his moments, little things like TJ McConnell having that third quarter that you had looking in game 3. You're having guys like Aaron Nesmith, Benedict Mathurin from the Pacers also going off, had 3 games. And yes, you have Lou Dort locking down someone like Tyrese lately. Like, it's good to see all these type of things, which I'm loving.
It's more than just the star guys, and I enjoy watching that.
Yeah, I agree.
So
very good.
All right, I have a little something for you.
Yeah.
So over the last 24 hours since the game, there's been a lot of discourse about where Shea and J-Dub rank among current duos.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Among current duos.
Yes, you did mention this.
So what I'm going to do,
Okay.
I'm going to list off some duos to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to say whether you would take them over Shay and J-Dub going into next season.
Okay.
And just for the sake of it, we're going to say that they're healthy going into the season, but once all bets are off. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm picking, you're going to name, there's going to be Jalen Williams, SGA versus these two guys.
Yeah. And which one would you say going in the next year?
Okay. I like it.
And we're not going to do all of them. We'll just go through a couple just because this has been a thing that's been going around at the moment.
Okay.
So let's start it off. We'll start west. So let's go with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Give me SGA and Williams.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take SGA and Williams. I think initially I was like, well, Jokic is the best player out of the four.
Mm-hmm.
But the gap between him and SGA is smaller than the gap between Williams and Murray right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take SGA and Williams.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my pick.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go Bron and Luka.
SGA and Williams.
Yeah.
Again, as much as I think SGA is actually the best player out of the four.
Yeah.
Last year, if you asked me, I would have said Luka, but I think his defense lately, his lack of trying, is going to give me SGA the best player out of the four.
Yep.
I have seen a lot about LeBron playing less minutes.
Yep.
Stuff like that, stepping it down a bit.
As he should. He
should, yes. Like, it's not a bad thing, but yeah, I think that one's an easier one.
Yeah.
Gonna go.
That's been a big one that I've seen, and it is just because of, LeBron and Luka as a talent. Like, even though they haven't played a whole lot of games together yet.
Yeah.
It's just been like their names that's kind of been floating around, and that's like the reason why.
Yeah.
Let's go Tatum and Brown. I think this one, in my opinion, is the most comparable because you saw them do it last year. Like, you saw them win the championship last year.
This is the hardest one. And being a Celtics fan as well, this is definitely the hardest one. I'm gonna go. So if Tatum's not injured.
Yeah, he's healthy.
He's healthy.
He's healthy. Yeah.
Give me SJ.
Yeah.
I think they're good enough defensively to match up against Brown Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
I think defense they're pretty similar. Just the length might be a little bit of a nod to the Celtics guys. Their length and athleticism.
I don't know.
One Tatum would give them the nod over Williams and SGA.
One of them's an all-defensive team, though.
Yeah, but like Tatum and Brown are that caliber defender too. Like you
can't say that caliber if they've never made it, but
yeah,
or
they're
never in discussions.
But they're that caliber. I would say they're that caliber of diff. Like I wouldn't say any of them. I wouldn't go, oh, Jalen Williams is a way better defender than the other two. I'd be like, no, it's pretty close. I would say it's pretty close. You can give me that look. I'll say it's close. You can give me that look. I do think Jaylen Brown is so hot and cold, and so is Tatum at times.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas SGA is so consistent.
Yep.
I'm going to give the nod to the SGA and Williams because of consistency.
Okay.
I think that's the thing. The 3-point shooting and the lack of what they used to do was drive the lane.
Yep.
Means that they're so much more inconsistent. So I've got to go against my own two there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go Maxey and Embiid. Again, healthy going into it. So this is a healthy Embiid.
Yeah. But as I said earlier, I do think the health of Embiid puts me away.
Yep.
And I don't think Maxey's better than the other two.
No, I don't think so either.
I think he's probably close to Jalen Williams. Like that. Like he's really close, but he's still not better.
Yeah.
I'd take Jalen Williams.
Okay.
So I'm going those two.
Yep. And let's go one more. Let's go with Mitchell and Mobley.
Mitchell and Mobley. That's the easiest one.
Yeah.
Easiest one.
Yeah.
Like one of them lost in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is carving up in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. One's won an MVP. Donovan's never been out of the second round ever. Mobley's good, but his offense isn't good enough to match up with the other two.
Yep.
So I think that's an easy one, yeah.
Yeah. There's just, I was just curious to get your opinions on some of it. Because like I said, it's been a pretty hot topic the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, the closest has been Brown and Tatum.
They are the closest.
And then under them, it's been Luka and LeBron. And I don't know how much of that is them as a duo compared to just it being LeBron and Luka.
I think it's
you know what I mean.
I think Luka and LeBron have been an able deal.
They've been
good, but
they haven't been bad by any means.
Yeah, but like they're not that good that you're like, oh yeah,
they're a top 2 duo.
Yeah, like nowhere. I don't think they've been near it.
I reckon I'd have them in the top 5.
Yeah,
in the top 5. Like I reckon you'd have SGA and J-Dub. You'd have Brown and Tatum.
I think they're almost consensus top 2.
One I forgot about was Steph and Jimmy. If you want to throw that one in there.
Yeah, actually.
I'm
still taking J-Dub because Jimmy hasn't been as good as Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah.
And Steph's defense would knock him a little bit. As like if it's just a duo, I'm going to take the ones who can play both sides of the ball. And Jimmy's offense hasn't been amazing lately.
Yeah. No, it hasn't.
So that's going to be my picks. But I don't think they've been that good as a duo. Like they lost in the first round to the Timberwolves, who were the 6th seed.
Oh, the second round, they beat the Rockets.
I'm talking about Luka.
Yeah, they lost in the first round as well.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Luka Braun.
I thought you okay.
About
okay.
Steph. Okay. When I said lost in the first round, I was talking about Luka Braun.
Yeah. Okay.
Like everyone, and you can't tell me they weren't contenders or anything because I saw so many people have them making the finals. So many.
I think they were the favorites.
They might have been like, you can't say they weren't contenders or anything, or you can't say that like it was just them two. Well, why were they the favorites then? It's because Luka and LeBron were meant to be better and they didn't play that well in that series.
Yeah.
They had a bad series. They lost to a 6th seed who got smashed by the duo we're comparing them to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Luka and Bron haven't been amazing together.
Yeah.
I do expect a better year next year, but we'll see how that pans out.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think their names are what's holding them up so far. They're not actually playing that well.
That's what I think as well.
If I'm honest.
That's what I think as well. But
I'll probably cop it for that type of take, but I think it's
I think it's a fair judgment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the first trade of the offseason, Desmond Bane to Orlando. So the full trade, just for the people that aren't aware, so Desmond Bane got shipped to the Magic for KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, and 1 pick swap. One of the picks was Orlando's number 16 in next week's draft, and another one of the picks was Phoenix's pick next year. The others were just Orlando's future ones. It was like 2030, 2032, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I thought it was a bit much for Desmond Bane.
Okay. Tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think.
I haven't looked into the draft picks specifically like you have about where they will be, like how valuable each pick actually is. But I did think it was a bit much for Desmond Bane. I thought I liked the move for the Magic to get Desmond.
Yep.
He's a good move for them to have.
Yep.
He's a good pickup. But I think they could have got him for a little bit less. That's what I think.
I don't know.
I think the picks did account for contract issues. Like the contract the Memphis are now taking on. Was it Caldwell Pope?
Yeah.
His contract they're taking on.
Well, him and Anthony.
I both got. Is it both of theirs combined? I didn't know if it was one of theirs that was the contract.
No, so both of them combined make up Bane's salary.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the draft picks are accounting for the salary they're having to take on. The level player that they're actually getting. I think they've got two good role players, but I do think they could have got him for 3-4 draft picks with it.
See, I don't think they could have. At first, I wasn't sure if Bain was on the market, but apparently it was a bit of a bidding thing. So apparently there was a few teams that threw offers out there, and it was just whoever gave the best offer.
Yeah.
So if Orlando's in a bit of a bidding war, they really wanted Bain. The picks that they gave up, like I've looked into it a little bit now. So first of all, I like the trade for Memphis. I think Cole Anthony is a good backup point guard, and he wasn't playing on Orlando anyway. And KCP was pretty disappointing. But I think he adds spacing to a team that kind of needs it when you have Ja Morant. So player-wise, I like it. And getting 4 picks for Desmond Bain, regardless of how good the value is.
5 picks also.
4 picks and a swap.
Okay.
So they still keep one. They just can swap it if they want to.
Okay.
I think getting 4 picks for him is fantastic. Value or not, I don't think they'll hold on to all 4 of those. I think they'll ship some of them away to deepen the roster a little bit more.
But who are they going to get with it?
Well, that depends, right?
Who are they going to trade for all that?
But for Orlando, I think giving up 4 picks is more than fine. You give up 16 in this year's draft. They had 2. They had 16 and they had 25, right? They give up 16. That's fine. That's whatever. Maybe they gave up that one over 25 because they just didn't really like anyone in that range. The only pick that will actually be valuable is the Phoenix one next year. And even then, that's a big if, because they could trade KD, get a decent package back, and it could be half decent. Like if Phoenix is a playing team next year, that pick it's nothing, right?
Yeah. And
then the other ones, if you're Orlando, you're making this move to make playoff pushes, so you don't care a whole lot about your first round picks if you're going to be making the playoffs in that anyway, right? They're going to be in the 20s. So I don't think they actually gave up a whole lot for Desmond Bain. Like, I don't think he's the best player, but I think his fit alongside Paolo is really good.
Okay.
So initially I saw 2 players, 4 picks, and I was like, oh, that's a lot. But actually having a look at how much each pick is worth, it's not a whole lot.
Okay. Now, I thought it was a little bit much. As I said, that I hadn't looked into picks like you have.
Yeah.
But what it made me think about was there's been a lot of talk, obviously, of Kevin Durant. And he's probably the next trade we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
He's been linked to the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Heat. But of how much they're going to have to give up for Kevin Durant then? Because rather now, it's like, you're rather going to have to give up a bunch to get KD, that it's almost too much, or whatever you do give up, it's worth it, and we would think is worth it. People are going to be like, but Bain got this. But Mikal Bridges was worth 5 picks, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think now it's kind of like making it hard for those trades of rather it's going to be too little or too much. It'll be really hard to see a Kevin Durant trade that isn't going to be a hot topic now.
I think for KD, from what I've been saying, all the offers are pretty subpar compared to what Phoenix thought they were going to get.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair enough, right? KD's 38. He's got 1 year left on his deal.
Injury history.
Like, he's not bad by any means, right? But he's injured. He doesn't really seem like he's ever really happy where he goes.
He's always the problem.
You've got,
is what I said,
I think, 2 years left of KD, right? Like, of decent KD.
Yeah.
If you trade for him, it's to make a championship push. And there's only so many teams that want to do that. I think the Heat are in there just because they want a star. I think apparently the Spurs have dropped out, so it's kind of between the Rockets and the Heat. And the Rockets package of sand is built around Jalen Green.
Yes, I've seen a lot of those. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, a couple of picks.
Yeah. And
is a big one.
I don't think you're going to get much better than that. Like, Bain, like I said,
the best trades I've seen are the Spurs ones.
Yep.
But when it comes to what that actually means for KD, I think the Rockets are the best place.
Well, I don't think the Spurs are as good
contender. I think the Rockets, but the Spurs are if he goes there. But I do.
Even then, I don't know about that. Like, I think wherever he goes, you're not really getting a whole lot better.
I think the Rockets do because what they lacked was their scorer.
Yeah,
And
but
it was Jalen Green who was meant to be that scorer, but was too inconsistent and wasn't doing it. So if you're swapping KD for Jalen Green and giving up a guy like Brooks,
you're also good. Brooks was also their best 3-point shooter.
he was.
And he's one of their better defenders. If you're giving that up for a guy that's not going to play defense and another mid-range guy.
Well, mid-range, but it's a different kind of mid-range. He still shoots the three. He will be your main scorer. I think he will fill a void that was most important to the Rockets and the reason they lost the first round.
I just don't know how he goes for spacing. I just don't know how, like, you've got, like, Thompson and Şengün are inside the arc players.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet is a 3-point shooter who can't really hit threes.
Well, do you reckon it would make sense if they get a Durant and then they look to get a role player who shoots a three?
I think that's what you have to.
And then all of a sudden they're a great team. Like, they're a team.
I think that's what you have to do.
They do need another 3-point shooter. But
They need spacing. They don't need scoring as much. They need spacing.
I think they need the scoring. Because what they lacked was Jalen Green was too inconsistent and they would have voids of just no score.
Oh, ship Green. I'm not saying keep him, but I think bring in someone who's a bit more of a 3-point specialist than KD is. KD is a mid-range guy. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I think the KD is a weird fit. Like, he's definitely getting moved. They've said that they're not bringing him back.
No. Well, he doesn't want to be there.
It's just, I feel like any package for him, like you said, is either going to be way too much or it's going to seem like not enough.
Because of these other trades that have been happening.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird.
Similar with Giannis, though, as well.
No, I feel like for Giannis,
you get heaps, right?
You got to pay everything.
But I mean, like, the Giannis one is like, if you're going to look at these other trades that are happening, the amount you're going to have to give up is going to bankrupt your team. Like, you're going to have to give up so it's because everybody else probably won't even be a championship contender because of how much you have to give up.
Well, I've seen that Giannis has just said he's going to. I was saying that Giannis has said that he's just going to stay, that he wants to stay.
Okay.
So.
That surprised me. Because he was so against staying if they weren't winning.
Well, I think what's happened is that the front office has come in and been like, hey, if you stay, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And he's like, all right, I like how that sounds.
Now it's just got to do it.
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Do it. It's a bit hard. So they don't have much.
Yeah.
They get off so much for Dame, they don't have much to give.
Yeah. But they have a lot of money to work with. Half of their team is free agents. So you've got a lot of money to work with to go and sign some guys. Maybe they even ship off Dame.
It's going to be hard to do with his injury that I said it, bro.
Nah, but I think you could ship him off somewhere.
For role players.
You just have to attach some picks with it. Just be like, hey, you take Dame, just send us back. Or someone.
Yeah, that's fair. But we're going to get into UFC.
Yeah.
So UFC weekend, we just had the fight of Usman versus Buckley.
Yep.
And then this coming weekend, we're going to have Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree Jr. So we're going to talk about the last one first.
Yep.
About what happened. Your picks, obviously, Adam's the undercard guy, some weird reason.
Yep.
So yeah, how was your weekend watching the fights? What do you think?
They were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I think I enjoyed the undercard more than I enjoyed the main events.
Well, I only watched the final 4 fights.
Okay.
So I watched Usman Buckley, the women's fight, and then Petrovsky, Shabazian, Garbrandt versus Barcelos.
Well, let's go top down. Let's go top down. So Usman Buckley, we were talking about it before. There's been a lot of discourse about people saying they were disappointed with the fight. I wasn't disappointed.
I was a draw.
I wanted Buckley to win, but
you did.
All right, Kamaru looked really good, and you saw round by round improvement from Buckley, and I think this fight is only going to make him better.
Yes.
So, even though I wanted him to win, he lost. Oh well, I think he's going to come back better.
Mm-hmm.
And I never wanted Buckley to win because I hate Kamaru. I like Kamaru.
You just Buckley so much more.
Yeah, so it's like this for me was a bit of a win-win, I suppose.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I heard a bit of discourse about people saying it wasn't that great of a fight. It was too much wrestling, all that. But I didn't hate it because it was like, well, the first minute or two was stand and bang, and then Kamaru would get an opportunity to take it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he was just diving just to dive.
Which I mean,
he was scared of Buckley.
Here's a wrestler as well.
And he did that in the 5th round a bit because he already won 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I don't feel like getting my chin knocked off like Leon did. So that round was a little bit, but then it was a good round because Buckley started throwing him off.
Yeah.
And it was good. But the first 4 rounds was like every takedown he shot for, he landed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was shooting 5 seconds into the round. He was shooting 2 and zip.
Yeah.
He was actually waiting his chance. So I loved it. I picked Usman. For me now, it's just looking of where he goes next. So I'm going to go on the UFC site, the rankings.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me where you think he should go next. Okay?
Yeah.
So rankings, we are looking at the welterweight division. Kamaru is now the 5th ranked fighter.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed.
No.
But he beat Buckley, who was 7th. So you got Leon ahead of him, you got Shavkat ahead of him, Sean Brady ahead of him, Bilal, and obviously the champion, JEF. What type of fight do you reckon you're going to see next, or you would like to see from Kamaru? We've talked about coming back to contendership. He wants to contend for a title one more time before calling quits.
I've seen a lot of Kamaru Bilal, and I think that's the right move to make because I'm pretty sure everyone else, you're not going to do another Leon fight, right? So scrap that.
Yeah, I think Leon's kind of behind it now.
I think they're going to feed Leon to a Michael Morales, one of their up-and-coming guys.
And hope that he loses.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where Leon is at the moment.
You Shavkat.
No, I think Shavkat has a fight booked. I think with Sean Brady. It just hasn't been announced yet. But I think Sean
isn't fighting for the title yet. I know he had the title fight, and
I'll be honest, I don't think he deserves it. He fights one time a year.
Yeah.
He fights one time a year.
I think he deserves it because he's beaten so many people and there's a wife. Like, he hasn't had really, only that one Ian Gary fight. No real close fights as such.
But he only fights one time a year.
I think he deserves it. I would like to see him challenge for the title.
I would like
to see why he's not, because JDM, Islam, stuff like that. Islam coming up. Yeah, I would like to see Shavkat fight him.
I'd like to see one of the more active guys go for it. I don't think fighting one time a year should get you the belt.
He's just Shavkat. He's just Shavkat.
I don't understand why he's so high on him. But anyway, right? I think you do, like I said, I think Brady and Shavkat has been announced. I saw Sean Brady say something about that.
So you got Kamaru and Bilal there.
And then, yeah, I think you do Kamaru and Bilal. I think that's a good fight.
And what winner goes against the winner of Islam, JDM?
Well, winner gets that number 1 contender spot. Or maybe they get the shot after Brady Shavkat. Say Brady wins, he's definitely next in line, right? He beat Leon. He beats Shavkat. You give him the next shot.
Yes.
And you do a Bilal Kamaru, winner of that goes after those two. And I think that's how you run it.
I don't mind that. I've also heard a bit from Kamaru saying he would love a super spot against Islam.
Yep.
And then he's like, I'll shock the world and call it. And I was like, that's pretty cool, but I don't think you're winning that fight. He cleared, like, his wrestling's not bad. Like, he's a good wrestler and he could stand with Islam because of his size. I still don't think he's winning fight. Would love it to, but so yeah, I think that. But now for Buckley, losing that fight, I don't think the UFC wanted him to win that fight, I think.
Probably. Well, he's one of the up-and-coming guys in the division.
Yeah. Cool. That pretty much gets rid of Kamaru, like they are hoping with Leon probably soon. So I don't think they were happy that he lost. But where do you look for Buckley now? Do you give him Ian Gary?
That's what I was thinking.
Give him Ian Gary and just go winners next. No, not next, but next up for a contenders type of fight.
That's what I think. Because like I said, I reckon Leon is going to get fed to Michael Morales. And they're going to hope that Morales wins that fight. He's undefeated. So, yeah, I reckon that's what happens with him. And then I reckon you just do a Gary Buckley. And
pretty much tell him winner's going to be one. He's going to get a contender fight.
Yeah. You're like, hey, we're going to do Brady Shavkat. We're going to do Kamaru Bilal. This is the order of it. If you two fight, the winner of you will fight whoever.
Loser of Shavkat, Sean Brady.
Yeah.
Something, or maybe the loser of Bilal Kamaru.
And we're going to work you into the number 1 spot. But these guys are ahead of you, so we have to put them first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
And I think that makes sense, right? Like, I think that's
I like that.
That's fair. Yeah. So
it's a very deep welterweight division right now. They're looking at like Islam, JDM, Bilal, Sean Brady, Shavkat. I guess you can include Leon still. He's still up there, but Kamaru, Ian Gary, Bartley, Morales. That's 10 guys.
Yeah.
Who I'm like, they could all make a push. That's pretty good. That's a really good look for that division.
Yeah.
And we're talking the other way about how deep lightweight is. Welterweight's an argument to be the deepest right now.
I think,
It has
I'll be honest, I think most of them are a lot deeper than what people give them credit for.
Yeah, but like welterweight even has the names behind it, really.
100%.
So
100%.
like even people who aren't as into it would know these guys.
Hey, don't forget to throw Kevin Holland in there as well. So. Kevin Holland.
Carlos Prates?
Oh, fuck Carlos Prates. Kevin Holland is on the rise.
Oh, sure.
Title running.
Obviously, then we had... Sorry. Had the women's spot.
Rose and Miranda.
Yeah.
I'm happy Rose won. I like Rose.
Yeah.
I think everyone was happy that Rose won.
Yeah.
So
I'm not really going to say too much on it. I'm pretty similar with you.
Yeah.
And then we have Shabazian and Petrovsky.
This one I didn't watch. I won't lie.
I watched it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty close spot. That third round check kick from Shabazian that just like nearly snapped Petrovsky's arm was tough.
Okay. I might have to go back and watch that.
Throwing like a upper body kick and he just went to check it.
Yeah.
Clicked in the arm and Petrovsky's just standing there with a dead arm. And it looked like he just got his arm snapped. And I was like, oh, that's tough.
That was the one fight that I didn't watch.
But the only thing I thought was Shabazian, he was very disciplined, which is good, but he could have had a bit more urgency. Made it a bit more interesting and stuff like that. If he pushed the pace more, he probably could have finished Petrovsky.
Yeah.
Especially when he hit him in the arm. Probably could have finished him if you pushed the pace on him a bit more.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And then you got Garber and Barcelos. What do you think?
I really wanted Cody to win it. I think everyone probably wanted Cody to win it.
I think I picked him and wanted him to.
Yeah, I don't know. Barcelos just looked better. He had the bigger moments. He had the more consistent moments.
28-27 across the board.
Yeah.
But the last two rounds were Barcelos.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
And he gave himself a boost at the end by controlling the fight so much.
Yeah, so exactly.
You know, continue his win streak, stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good fight. But yeah, I just bonked up in for him.
Yep.
Are we going to do the rest of the card or do you want to move on to next fight night? No, the only ones I watched.
No, well, let me go through some of the prelims.
You go through them?
Because some of the prelims were
oh, no, there's one you really want to go through.
Like I said, yeah. I think the prelims were better than the main card. Okay. So the main prelim was Paul Craig and Rodolfo Bellato. I don't know if you've seen it. Paul Craig landed an up kick. I thought it was a legal up kick because Bellato wasn't planted, right?
Okay.
He wasn't. I think he had one knee on the ground, so I'm pretty sure that classifies it as illegal. But it was weird.
Pretty sure. How was he sitting? Was it like one knee on the ground?
He was like kneeling.
Kneeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure you're gonna have ball 4.
That's what I mean. So I'm pretty sure that's a legal up kick. But what they did was Bellato copped the up kick, went down. As he was going down, he looked at the ref, and then he landed, and he was out. Right?
Okay.
It looked a bit like he was faking it. Everyone that I saw on Twitter said that they thought he was faking it
because he wanted
because he wanted the DQ. Instead, they called it a no contest. So we'll probably see this one be rebooked.
Was that pretty much on the buzzer?
No.
It says first round 4:59.
Yeah, I know. There was more time than that.
I just saw that and I was like, "What's on the buzzer?"
Yeah, no, it was close to, but yeah,
yeah,
it was looking to be good. Like it was a good first round.
Yeah.
But then that happened, so we'll probably see that one be rebooked.
Oh, your boy of the night got performance of the night.
But I want you to go and rewatch that part because I want to hear your opinion on.
Do you want me to watch
on Bellato? Yeah, bring it up.
All right, let me get YouTube up.
Because it's weird, like the way Bellato looks as a referee and then gets knocked out.
Paul Craig versus Bellato. Let's have a look. I turn up the sound, see if we hear the commentators say. Right. I'm not giving free publication out here, you know? Right. Let's have a look. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, right. Alright, you ready? So down.
Yeah.
grapple, up kick, looks at the ref, and then he's out.
Ooh, okay.
And then he comes back to.
Okay. I need to see this slow down replay here.
Yes.
To give me a call. Okay.
Yeah, and then he tries to grapple with the ref a little bit, which is kind of funny.
Hey, what's he doing, man? Bloke's got his shirt on. He's obviously not fighting.
Well, that's when I think genuinely, I think he was out of it, right? Because you're not going to fake fighting with the referee.
You're not going to fake that. He's looking fast.
But,
Okay.
well, they're bringing him back. Yeah. Yeah, here, watch. So, up kick.
That knee's in the air.
He looks at the ref, and then he's out.
What I'm saying is this knee's in the air.
Yeah. That's what I think it's a legal up kick. But watch Bellato's reaction. Up kick, looks right at the referee, arms up, and then he's out.
Well, I thought it was all fours on the ground. His hands aren't even on the ground.
Yeah. I thought it was all fours or at least both knees, but both knees aren't on the ground.
I'm getting his knee. I think it might be both knees also. I don't think that's a no contact. I think that's
yeah. I think it should count as a knockout.
I think that should count as a knockout.
But
let me look up the rules. Is the UFC rule for
just search up kick rules, I reckon.
UFC rule for up kick. Let's say UFC in the UFC, up kicks are legal when performed by a standing fighter against a grounded opponent, but only if the grounded opponent has at least one knee on the ground. That's the grounded guy. What about standing, hands on the ground? Previously, fighters with hands on the ground were considered grounding. Up kick definition, clinch. Well, up kick for standing opponent.
All right, it looks like they need to have both feet planted. From what I'm saying.
Okay. So it would be illegal.
So it would have been illegal.
Okay.
All right. Either way,
for me, when I watch that, I think of the rule, both knees on the ground or 4 limbs.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, if I was reffing, I would have gone legal, you're out.
Yeah. The biggest part for me was just the reaction. I thought the reaction was really weird from Bellato.
For me, he kind of like turned, he's like, sir. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's actually like out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was weird.
It's a weird reaction, but to be fair, when people get knocked out, it's always a weird reaction.
100%.
So
the body reaction.
Yeah.
So
how I didn't react to that, but I guess the rule just proved me wrong. But watching it, I thought legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Right. Moving on.
Also in the prelims.
Yes.
For everyone that listened last week, I was hyping up my boy Malcolm Wellmaker.
Fair enough. That was a good knockout.
Won by another first round KO on short notice. Yeah, he's coming for the title. I've seen enough. He's one of my prelim guys.
I like that. I like the knockout that you sent it to me. He sent it to me, Instagram, reposted on TikTok, sent it to me on TikTok, and messaged me on Snapchat to go watch the knockout.
Yeah.
So 4 different things. I've seen this guy talk to me about this one knockout.
Yeah. I'm very, I have my few prelim guys and I'm just like,
you're the only one
really high on
who has prelim guys in fight nights.
Yeah.
I get it for the actual cards, but it comes to a fight night card and this guy's giving me 3 prelims to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the hell?
But I put his guy. But listen,
you're right.
I was right about Josh Fair.
I'm
right about Wellmaker.
I'll give you that more often than not. You know what you're talking about.
So
credit.
So yeah, Malcolm Wellmaker. Very happy with that. Also, Jose Ochoa.
Yes.
Versus Cody Durden.
Performance of the night.
That was an insane knockout. I want you to go back and rewatch that one too.
Still been watching now?
No, that one you can watch later.
Okay.
But it was just, it was really good.
Okay.
And then the last prelim fight I want to talk about, Phil Rowe and Ange Losa. So Phil Rowe won Dana White Contender Series. He's one of the guys that I reckon the UFC is probably pretty high on. Yep. He was losing the fights, the first round, the second round, and most of the third. Okay. And then he ended up winning by KO. Like, it was insane, right? Like, Losa had him on the feet, he had him on the ground, and then Rose turned it on, won by KO.
Good.
It was it was really good.
That's good. Okay. So now we're going to look forward
To Hill Roundtree.
Hill Roundtree. Few good fights coming on. Now, obviously, Hill Roundtree is going to be an amazing fight, I think. I think it's going to be a great fight. I do. I love the fight. I think Bahamondes for Zaev will be a good fight.
Me too. Very excited for that.
Curtis Blade, seeing him back in, he'll be good.
Well, this fight is a rebook from through 15, I think. So yeah, I'm excited.
Him back in the octagon.
I'm excited.
No, again.
Yep.
All right. Until you guys soon. Make sure you follow and subscribe.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. My haters and the Off Event podcast. Thanks.